Hello and welcome to the ScrapbookPal YouTube channel. This is Colleen Beamish from Humor Bean Cards, and today I will be making a fun winter card featuring the Simon Hurley Sketch Snowmen stamps and dies. These are so cute with so many snowmen to play with, along with some snowflakes and some wonderful sentiments. So without further ado, let's get into it. Now, when I first started making this card, I thought I would do A2 size, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I knew I wanted to have 3 snowmen on this card, so I'm just evaluating the spacing, and I found that it was a bit of a tight squeeze and wouldn't really work for the design I was going for. So I switched to a 5 by 7 card, and that was a much better fit for me. Before I get into the background, I wanted to stamp out my snowmen so that they had time to dry. I will be doing some Copic coloring, and so I wanted all of the ink to dry so it wouldn't smudge when I started coloring. Now, I laid these out all in my mini MISTI, but then I realized I wanted to die cut them first. I find it a lot easier to line the stamps up with the shape rather than lining the die up with the stamped image. That's just what works for me, but you can do whatever works for you. I do have a sticky mat here in my MISTI, and that is how each snowman is, staying in place so that I can restamp, which was really good because my first impression was not solid whatsoever. So I definitely needed to restamp these down. I was just using the Pinkfresh, I'm not sure exactly what it's called, maybe stamping block, but it helps to apply pressure to the cover of the MISTI here. And I ended up actually standing up to get a really good impression because these images have a lot of little details. And the snowmen are just so cute. I'm such a fan. Now back to my background. So here I have some computer paper, or printer paper, just very thin. You can definitely use masking paper for this, and I have it cut to 6 by 8, just so that it overlays the entire card front. Now I have the notched corner die from Pinkfresh Studio here, and I just cut out the shape right in the center of this piece of printer paper. This is going to act as a mask, well, both a mask and a stencil for my background. So first I'm taping down my card base to my craft mat here. That will just make sure that it's not moving around while I'm trying to do my ink blending. And then I'm going to stick down my stencil right over top, my DIY stencil to be clear. So I'm just using some washi tape for that. You can use any low-tack tape that you have, or if you have a sticky mat, you can do that. Oh, this is my dance break. Just wanted to leave that in. I'm always listening to music while I'm crafting. And then I'm going in with my first color, which is milled lavender. So I'm using Distress Oxide inks, which are really great for blending, and just a blending brush here, and I'm just going to keep blending until I have a very solid background color. Now there are so many techniques you can do on this card. I could have done ombre, I could have done multiple colors together in the shape. Obviously I could have put some other stenciling over top if I wanted a pattern or to add glitter or anything like that, or even stamped over this section so it would have been masked within this rectangle. But I want this card to be pretty clean and simple, so I'm just going with some solid ink blending. I probably even could have taken the ink pad directly to paper, but this is what works for me, and I really love the result. So as I peel back my mask here, you'll see it's such a beautiful shape. Like, it looks perfect. Now I moved over the same mask over to the left, and I'm using my craft mat, the grid on my craft mat, to really line this up. So I knew it would be lined up based on where I had it. I had it 2 little squares above and below my card base, and then I shifted it over 8 little squares. So whatever works for you. If you have a grid on your craft mat, I would definitely say that's the easiest way to keep the stencil lined up with your image, because I wanted my 3 rectangles to be in a straight line. This color was Tumbled Glass, and I love how that turned out. And then my last color will be Chipped Sapphire, so a much darker blue. I should also mention that almost all of the products I use in today's video are from ScrapbookPal.com and linked down in the description below. So if you're looking for something, be sure to check that out. As you can see here, as I was ink blending, the top of my stencil came up a little bit. And that's partly because I'm reusing this one piece of printer paper. So it's not super durable. But my solution for that was just to ink blend downwards from that spot. So rather than going in circles like I am in the other areas, from the top, I just pull the ink down so I don't keep going underneath that stencil. So that's my third rectangle complete, and I'll just peel away that stencil, and we have 3 perfect shapes, all lined up and solidly ink blended, and I just love how that turned out. So now I'll remove my washi tape from my card base, and the trick to this is just to pull it back right over itself so that you don't tear the paper underneath, and make sure to go nice and slow. So now that my card base is all set, I'm going to start with Copic coloring. My Copic coloring process is very simple. I just kind of go with the basic steps for this. Especially with these images, they have a lot of details and some shading already in place. So really what I'm doing is I'm going with the light color, and then I'll take a darker color and go right over those areas that are already noted as shadows. The thing with this snowman is that I did the little cap light blue, but then realized that I had actually wanted to do it the dark blue to match the chip sapphire. But I didn't have the actual dark blue color. So what I'm doing is I'm going in with a deep purple, and then I'm going to go over it with a deep blue. And that luckily turns out to be pretty much the exact color that I wanted. I was kind of blown away that I could perfectly match these Copic colors to my chip sapphire ink blending. For the nose, I'm going in with a light orange and then a little bit of a darker orange. And then for the scarf, for the buttons here, I'm just doing a deep gray. And then for the scarf, I have a light pink. And I ended up doing the stripes on the scarf in a little bit of a darker pink. So yeah, I'm just keeping it very simple. On this first snowman, this is the normal speed that I was coloring at, but for the next handful I will be going a bit faster, or I will have the video sped up so that it doesn't get too redundant here. So once I finish up with my scarf, I'm going to add my little blush on the cheeks. I feel like that's such the perfect addition. It just makes it look so cute. So yeah, that's like a finishing touch, but I am going in to do some shading. I was going to do this with the color N2, but as I tried to start, it was actually all dried out. So I'm going in with N0. You can't really see the shading on camera, but it is much more noticeable in person. And again, I'm just going wherever the shadow would be, under the hat, above the scarf, and then anywhere that in the image there's already kind of shading happening. So that snowman is all done, and I'm moving on to the next one. This one, I did want it to have that turquoise cap. The goal was to have each snowman, whichever background rectangle they were on, the hat and the scarf would be different colors from that background. Hopefully that makes sense. I actually, on the final card, ended up rearranging where the snowmen were going to be, so the scarves all matched their background colors, which is totally fine. But that was the original goal, was to have the hat and scarf different from the background color. Now again, for this scarf, I wanted it to be that chip sapphire color. Sorry, my head is getting in the way here. And so I, again, went in with that deep purple, and then I'm going over it with the dark blue. I will say with these darker colors, you can't see the detail of the stamped image quite as well, but I'm okay with that. If you really wanted those details to come through, you should definitely stick to a slightly lighter color. This one is just really dark. Again, I will be coloring the buttons here with a dark gray and then adding my blushy cheeks. That just makes them so cute. I'm obsessed. And then some more shading with N0. So you can see I just kind of, it doesn't need to be perfect because it is such a light shade, but 2, shadows aren't going to be perfect. So I just kind of add that wherever I feel like it's appropriate. And here is my last snowman. This one will have a little pink cap. And this one, what makes it different is that it has the little present. So I had to choose an additional color that would be appropriate to match. I didn't want to do it the same color as the cap or the scarf. So I ended up choosing a light purple color because I figured that was a happy in between of the pink and the blue. So yeah, and my scarf here is light turquoise. I actually, because you can see the details on this one, I wanted to add, I don't know if I would consider it shading or polka dots, but I went in with a deeper blue and then I was kind of like, I'm not sure that I like that. So I did go back over again with the lighter blue just to blend it a little bit. I like the final result, so I don't know why I was worried about it. So yeah, here's the light purple, and then I'm going in with the darker purple and the darker blue to make that chip sapphire color for the ribbon here. And this does get away from, obviously these are non-traditional Christmas colors. I would consider this card more of a winter card than a Christmas card. So that's why I'm sticking with the pinks and the blues, but you can definitely go full Christmas on this for sure. So I'll just add my shading like I did to the others, and this one requires a bit more because it is holding that present. So I do some shading under the scarf, around the bottom here, and then under the present as well. And again, it's much more noticeable in person. It's hard to see on camera here. So that is my snowman complete. I did color the little one as well, but that won't end up being on my card. So here are all my little snowmen, and here is how I will have them arranged on my card. I did put some foam tape right on the back of those to pop them up on each rectangle. And so I will just kind of play around until I'm happy with how it's spaced. I should have started with the largest snowman because that one needs to be lined up a little bit more particularly to fit right inside that rectangle. So once I get that last one on the left down, then I will actually go back and move the others around a little bit. As you can see here, like I was saying before, the scarves match the background colors. Originally, I was going to do it so like the one with the dark blue cap and light pink scarf would be on the light blue background, but it didn't work out that way, and I'm happy with how it turned out ultimately. Off camera, I went ahead and heat embossed a sentiment on black cardstock. Something that I really love about this stamp set is the font of the sentiments. I don't know, I just love it so much. And so I have this piece here, and what I'll actually do is I added little white pearl hearts on either end of that sentiment. I just think that's the perfect touch. So this is my card complete, but I'm not done quite yet because I wanted to make a matching envelope. The snowflakes in the stamp set were so perfect that it makes it so easy to make a matching envelope because you can just stamp snowflakes all around this in those coordinating colors. So I have my Distress Oxide inks here, same colors, Tumbled Glass, Milled Lavender, and Chip Sapphire. And then I'm just taking these snowflakes on an acrylic block, and I will just, I'm prepping it because these aren't brand new to me. So I'm prepping my stamp, and then I'm pouncing it in my ink, and I'll just kind of choose randomly where I want those snowflakes to be. Ultimately, I ended up doing kind of 3 clusters of snowflakes. My biggest snowflakes are in that light blue because I wanted that to be like the main color of this design, and then I have my medium snowflakes in the Milled Lavender, and then the smallest ones in the Chip Sapphire because I didn't want this envelope to be too dark. I am going to clean off the stamp in between uses, and I tried to use a variety of the snowflakes, but there's obviously so many. You could also do this in a MISTI and put down multiple snowflakes at one time, which would definitely go a little bit faster. Something else to note as I'm decorating the envelope, I'm just keeping in mind where my addresses are going to be. This envelope doesn't actually end up being the envelope I'm going to send the card in because I did mess up a little bit. I got some ink where I didn't want ink, and I did end up trying to stamp on the back flap of it, but it double stamped like off center. So this is just a draft envelope, and I will probably recreate it when I'm actually going to send this card. It is the middle of August when I'm recording this, so I have plenty of time to make a better winter card for this, or better winter envelope for this card. There's where I smudged the ink a little bit. But so what I was saying is that I do end up putting like a fake address on this card as well as a fake return address, just so you can see kind of how it would look when I was sending it. So you'll see that once I finish kind of stamping out my colors here. So here is the card and envelope complete. I absolutely love how this turned out. I think it's so cute, and I'm very excited to send it out this winter. Like I said before, everything I use in today's video is linked down in the description, so be sure to check that out. And like this video, be sure to subscribe to the ScrapbookPal YouTube channel. There is always more crafty inspiration over here. So subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can see it all. Look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye!